All right, we're back once again with another NFL season breakdown. I picked all 272 regular season games. It gave me records. I'm going through division by division, team by team, breaking everything down for y'all to let you know what you can expect in the upcoming NFL season. We had the AFC North on Thursday, and it was a spicy comment section in there. Today, we're moving on over to the NFC North to see who can take the title. The Lions looking to contend for their first division title since 1993. The Packers and Jordan Love. Is he a third straight Hall of Fame quarterback for the Packers? Can Justin Fields figure out how to throw the football? And will the Vikings be able to maintain that one-score close game success that they had last season? It's very, very interesting. But let's start it with the monsters of the Midway, your last place finishing in the entire NFL, Chicago Bears. Okay, the Bears were just flat out abysmal last year. 3 wins on the season after winning week 1 in a monsoon. It looked like the Bears could be a threat, but the season fell apart for them down the stretch. They really couldn't get anything going, but they did a great job. They traded away the first overall pick. They got a haul, and they're relying on Justin Fields. This team is going to go as Justin Fields goes. The offense was much better in the second half of the season after they changed things up, but they didn't throw the ball. It was crazy. It looked like an offense out of the 1960s. I think Fields had like 300 passes on the season. Tom Brady threw over 700. So this team did not throw the football. And you really can't win in today's NFL just having a running quarterback and kind of a mediocre run game. I think the Bears are better this year than they were last year. It's hard to be much worse, but I just don't get this. They add DJ Moore, which was a great trade get. He's a legit number 1 wide receiver, kind of lost in the shuffle down there in Carolina with no quarterbacks to throw to him. I do think they upgraded the defense and the offensive line slightly, but this just was not a talented football team whatsoever. I think they're really, really bad. I think they need to get more pieces. And I just don't know if Justin Fields learned how to throw a football. Honestly, he was a pathetic passer last year. Great running the football, really made defenses work. He's a lot faster than he looks, clearly, because he would just run by guys. But the passing game was abysmal. Now, if Fields can figure this thing out, and it's not just like heaving the ball up to DJ Moore, which, honestly might be a good offense. DJ Moore is going to come out with that ball 50% of the time, a little more than the time. So I do like that as an offensive weapon, but it's really going to go as Justin Fields goes. I think this defense isn't good. There's lots of reports about Matt Eberflus overworking the team. Everybody's nicked up and injured. 5 of the guys on the offensive line are banged up. One's already on the IR, out for the season. I do think the Bears are better. I think they double their win total. I got them going 6-11 with some heavy question marks at the quarterback position. All right, let's go to everybody's darlings, the favorite to win the NFC North, the Detroit Lions. Now, they started this season pretty bad, but really turned things on in the second half, dominating down the stretch, culminating in that epic Week 18 win at Lambeau Field to knock the Packers out of the playoffs, send Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. So there's a lot of hype around this team. They finished the season strong. Everyone loves Dan Campbell. He's a pretty good coach. A lot of people made fun of him with that first interview, but man, I love me some Dan Campbell. And the best thing he does is he gets his guys to believe in him. They'll go run through a damn brick wall for this man, and that's what a good coach can get you to do. Now, the offense is going to be very good again. They have a top offensive line. Jared Goff is very efficient when he is protected. He's great at home. He wasn't very good on the road last year, but was good in that last game against Green Bay. So there's some optimism there. This team's going to run the football, lean on that offensive line, get the ball out to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's one of the top receivers in the league. The problem is there just is no depth at receiver for this team. The defense, they got to be better than they were for the majority of the season. They turned it on late. Now they got a couple of great young pass rushers, including Aiden Hutchinson, who was the second pick in the draft. He had a really great finish to the season. The defense is going to be better. The problem is the interior of the offensive line or the defensive line is a little bit weak. They were subject to getting gashed up the middle. Down the stretch, they got killed at Carolina in the run game, and that really cost them a playoff spot. Ultimately, the secondary is a big concern for me. Now, they did add C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles, but he was a little nicked up throughout the year Again, another team that drafted really well. Jahmyr Gibbs, kind of a questionable pick, maybe a reach, but he's at a great camp, and they want that explosiveness from the backfield. Jack Campbell, the best linebacker in the draft. Sam Laporta, the tight end, is getting rave reviews. I also liked Brian Branch to help that weaker secondary. I'm worried about the secondary. The Lions do play a better schedule this year. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them. They got to win some football games. Luckily, they get the NFC South. I think the biggest thing going against the Lions is that they're the Lions. Like, they let down their fan base. They let down their team. There's 30 years of wait. They've never won the NFC North. Their last division win was in the NFC Central. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won this division more recently than the Lions have. That's a lot. Now, they've made the playoffs a few times. They don't have any playoff wins to show for it either. This is a lot of history, a lot of mountain. Now, you say times have changed, but could that weight start creeping in? I think the Lions do get the job done this year. They go 10-7, but the question is that enough to win the division? It's going to be close, but I really like the Lions team. 10 wins, 10-7, and they could finally be hoisting that division champion banner. Okay, let's get to the Green Bay Packers. Look, the Packers lost Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers, but he was kind of mediocre last year, and maybe clearing him out opens the door for a new, not-so-toxic culture. It was just really, really bad between Rodgers, ownership, management, coaching, whatever. It was just ugly. But the Packers finished the year very strong. They were 8-9. They did lose that final game at home to get into the playoffs. They were winning in, and they got sent home. They clear out Rodgers. That's the biggest thing. But they didn't just only lose Rodgers. They lost Alan Lazard. They lost Robert Tonyan. They lost Dean Lowry on the defensive side of the ball. They lost Adrian Amos, the safety. They had some depth issues here. The problem for them is going to be injuries on the defense. This is a very good defensive unit, probably in that top 10 area, might be even better, could be top 5. Who knows? I think they're a little overrated, honestly, but that could be a personal bias. I think the problem with this team is they get banged up a lot, and there's not a lot of depth on this Packers defense. They have a very good pass rush in that second tier of pass rushers, not up there with the Eagles or the Cowboys, but in that next tier. But they get banged up. They got to stay healthy for them. And the secondary is good. They work good as a unit. Jair Alexander likes to talk that talk, gets a lot of help over the top from the safeties. So if you can combo that on the back end, this is going to be a very good defense, and it's going to keep them in football games. But now we go to the offense. Are they going to go super run heavy now? They're not going to see such soft boxes anymore. Aaron Rodgers is not at quarterback. Jordan Love is a complete unknown. Now, the hype is around him. They feel comfortable with playing him. But just 2 years ago, or not even a year ago, it was a disaster. Like, Jordan Love is a bust we were talking about. Like, he's really bad. He developed well. He's looked okay in his few appearances in the league. It's just kind of a big question mark. We really don't know. He lit up the preseason. I expect that from a guy who's been in the system for as long as he has. He should be lighting it up in the preseason. I'll be interested to see what this team actually does. I think Jordan Love is limited. I don't think he's going to be that good of a quarterback. Probably in that 15 to 12 range, maybe a little worse. Maybe he gets into that top 10 range, but he just kind of feels like an Andy Dalton type quarterback. If he was any better, he would have been starting already. They would have known. It just happens. That's how it works in the NFL. I know you can say what Rodgers, back-to-back MVPs. If he was that dude, they would have moved on from Rodgers. They wouldn't have paid him. So it's a big question mark. I do like their young receivers. Christian Watson, the question is he a product of Aaron Rodgers? We see this everywhere Aaron Rodgers gets. He gets a new receiver that's, semi-talented, and he blows them up. Are they as good as they really are if they don't have Rodgers? We'll find that out. Also got to worry about that second-year regression. That happens about half the time with guys in this league. I got the Packers kind of grinding this thing out, being a little too good to get a top quarterback, but not good enough to get into the postseason. I got the Packers at 7-10 and kind of stuck in no man's land. And maybe they just need a full reboot. Maybe they trade for a quarterback. Who knows? But I think the Packers are in the worst sort of shape. The mediocrity of the NFL is the last place you want to be. Okay, and finally, we bring it back to your defending NFC North champions, the Minnesota Vikings. What can I say about my Vikings? They were great last season. 13 wins, overperformed everything. 11-0 in one-score games, but it all came crashing down in the postseason. Now, this team did a really good job. They've had some contract issues with some guys. They re-signed Danielle Hunter. They extended TJ Hawkinson. They got their guys back into the building. It says to me this team believes they can be a winner. Now, are they going to go 11-0 in one-score games? No, but maybe they won't play so many one-score games. This team was horribly efficient on offense because their running game was abysmal. They were 7th in passing efficiency. They were last in running efficiency. Dalvin Cook moves on. They bring in Alexander Madison. He fits what this running game is going to try and do more. Now, the more of the question is the offensive line. The interior of the offensive line is not very good. You have two of the best tackles in the league on the bookends in Darisaw and O'Neal, maybe the best combo in the league, if not top 3 definitely. But your interior of your offensive line is not good, and that's a problem when you have a 35-year-old non-mobile quarterback in Kirk Cousins. You saw it on quarterback. Kirk was beat up. He took a beating last year, and at certain points, the body's gonna break. Now, they did lose some guys here. They cleared out some old guys. They traded away Zadarius Smith. They lost wide receiver Adam Thielen. They lost defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson. They lost Patrick Peterson. They lost Eric Kendricks. These guys really weren't that good for this team last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Dalvin Tomlinson, maybe he's get that interior pass rush from the defensive tackle position. But man, the defense was abysmal. It's one of the worst in the league. Horrible at protecting against the pass. Horrible at giving up scores. Horrible at giving up long drives. It was just really bad. Now, they added Marcus Davenport to fill in some of that pass rush. They brought in cornerback Byron Murphy from the Cardinals. That was a really nice add. They drafted Jordan Addison, who was the best route running receiver in the league, to pair him with Justin Jefferson and KJ Wright, who is no slouch. You got Hawkinson there. This offense is going to be electric. It's going to be a top 5 offense in the NFL. It's going to be really good offense. The question is the defense going to be better? And I think absolutely they are. Brian Flores comes in. He brings in a much better defensive scheme. He's going to blitz a lot. Vikings were towards the bottom in blitz percentage last year. Brian Flores is towards the top, so it's going to be a completely different look defense. Pair that with the fact that they just got better players. They really upgraded in athleticism and speed. They're going to have to get after quarterbacks. They're going to force turnovers. Schedule's not the best. They have a first-place schedule, but there's really no stretch of games that are just a death gauntlet. There's one tough stretch in there at the Bears, Niners at home on Monday night, and at the Packers. That's where we're going to find out what this team is made of. I think the Vikings do regress in wins. 13 wins is a lot. You're not going to win all those one-score games, but I think they get to 10-7, and I do think they repeat as NFC North champions. It's going to come down to tiebreakers. They play the Lions 2 out of the last 3 weeks, and I think they're going to win this thing on the tiebreakers. It's a step back, but maybe a more complete and better team. The numbers said this should have been a 7-win team last year. The numbers are going to say this should be a 10-win team this year, and they're going to win 10 games. I'm riding with my Vikings to stay as the king of the North. Call me a homer, but I think everyone is really underselling the upgraded defense this team is going to have. The offense is only going to be better. It's the second year in the system under head coach Kevin O'Connell. Kirk Cousins hasn't had the same play caller for consecutive seasons in his entire stint as the Vikings quarterback. It's a massive difference. So I'm going with the Vikings at 10-7 to retain the NFC North Championship. It's going to be a lower win total for this division, but I think it's going to be a dogfight with them and the Lions. And hey, maybe the Lions step up and they dominate 2 out of those last 3 games against the Vikings, and they're your NFC North champions. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I really want to hear from you guys. Vikings fans, Lions fans, Packers fans, Bears fans, come at me for the hate. I dare you to. I really appreciate it. We got just 3 divisions left. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to wrap this thing up. We're heading to the AFC South tomorrow. Should be very interesting. Can the Prince, who was promised, retain that division title? And are they possibly a Super Bowl contender in Jacksonville? And then we got a litany of rookie quarterbacks starting across that division. It should be not the best division in the world, but it should be very exciting to watch them play football. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you all what your thoughts are on this. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Share this video with your friends. It really helps the channel out a lot. If you want to support the channel more, click that join button or hit the link in the description and sign up for a channel membership. You get a lot of cool emojis and badges and stuff when you can use in our live streams during Monday Night Football games or any live streams. You get cool member shout outs, member only live streams. It helps support me, allowing me to make more of this great sports content for y'all. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.